tuning in after the live, please make sure you hit that like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics. XRP, you can't fool us here. We knew exactly what to expect here, as I've been predicting that move for the last several days. I even drew it out to show how volatile it was going to be. I don't have any kind of consolidation. I knew if we were going to come down to hold, it had to hit the bottom of that broadening wedge. We showed that channel that was formed, so we knew the rejection point. So everything forms exactly how it's supposed to. The technical target was given by this bear flag. The move was initiated by the rejection here, filled out the entirety of that 7% plus anticipated move that we've been talking about. And it really does help you understand when you start to see things like this. Now, we're not out of the woods yet, and we'll get into that as we go. But I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. I would like to say hi to the very early comers, as we have 24 people in here already. Thank you so much. 16 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. And we're going hot and heavy into this, because it's days like today where you can really understand if you know what you're talking about. Rachel, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. Mario, crazy what's going on. Had a short and was able to close it just shy of 58 cents on the nose. Was able to long at 588, ready to ride the candle back up. Just be very, very alert here. We'll get into this as we get going here. I appreciate that, Rachel. I love that. I love that too. Somebody actually sent me that from the audience and made that for me quite some time ago. XRP Rich, welcome, and I do appreciate everybody tuning in. So we got to say hi to everybody real quick. So as anticipated, XRP did grab for liquidity. The 4-hour time frame played out. That death cross absolutely was unable to be invalidated. We were able to get the new rising uptrend here on this uptrending support, and we knew that this, if it got rejected here, the technical target was down to the bottom of the broadening wedge, and 585 is the layer. We did wick through to 58 cents almost. So what ended up happening is we filled out that 7%, better than 7% drop here. So now the question is that enough? Is that where we stop, or do we get squeezed out here and have to come down to the 55 cent area? So yeah, a lot of people, the live doesn't show right when I go on. I know it's weird, but it doesn't. That's why some of you get like 30 seconds behind, and you'll have to just catch up. So let me get through the intro real quick. I wasn't expecting so many people so quick. Already 43 people, 24 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it, everybody. I greatly do. XRP Rich, welcome in. Moon Ferret, or Ferrari, welcome in. Darren White, I appreciate you tuning in, mate. Dean going down. So, good mid-afternoon, 3:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Fernando, that is up to you. I do not have to buy yet. I can't buy, in fact, until 20% below my 346 average. So all of this is standard operating procedure for me. So this uptrend is created farther down, but that comes if we break the pattern formation breakout. And it's going to get interesting. It's going to get very interesting as we'll go to the other chart so that we can look at where that would exactly bring us down if we were to lose this formation. Nope, it's on the other chart. That's the market cap as we came down really hard. Oh, that's all that happened. I took down the downtrending resistance. I was going to say this chart looks weird. Let me just put this back on here. I don't know how this came off, but oftentimes it does happen. And I always overrun these. We just had a breakout before the end. So if we were to break down here and lose this formation, which is a broadening wedge formation, I think it's pretty clear that we are in a broadening wedge. We lost the uptrend that was formed, but this is the resistance in the 4-hourly right here. Another resistance, support right here, support. Then we came back down to a third hit of support here. So the broadening wedge played out perfectly. We knew where that support was coming. We were able to front run that move, and now we're on top of it. Are we going to go down for more liquidity, or is that the liquidity grab we were looking for? First step is now we've got to get back over the broadening wedge resistance. Number one. So we had a little bit of a pull up here, nothing major. standard operating procedure here. Now I would anticipate it to come up and try to retest 613 probably, unless we're just full-blown just gonna have another sell-off candle. But that was a pretty big candle here. As you can see, even in the 5-minute, it was a 7.652 million candle. And it's like, I know a lot of people will say, oh, this is repetitive. Some people even said this is like copy-paste, as it's the same information when it's not. It's just, how are you going to change the perception when you're still in the same momentum, when you're still in the same positioning for a move? You can never tell if it's going to take a week, 2 weeks, a month, but we knew it was coming there. I even said when it had what I thought was a fake out up here to the top of the broadening wedge, and this happens to be the bull flag resistance now up here above the wedge, the broadening wedge that was support, I said it behooves us, if we're going to make a further move up, not to touch 585. Just because we touch 585 doesn't mean that's the end of this. We could very well come down, use 585 as resistance on the breakdown, so we at least cleared step one. Step one was not to break below the wedge, the broadening wedge, and use 585 as resistance. Check, on at least on the first drop down. Now, that means there could be a lot of volatility to come here, and you could very well come through on the next push down, but that remains to be seen. And if we do, as we've prophesized, this would all come into gap with the total crypto or the XRP market cap, and that would all materialize with a breakdown past the 3141 billion or 31.4 billion, and that would mean you'd have to come back to the ascending triangle breakout in the market cap to confirm the breakout. And that's what we were looking at with XRP as well, assuming 585 doesn't hold. You can't get past 585 without touching it first, and 585 was the most immediate support to me. I didn't think 6133 was a real support, and I even said 597 wouldn't hold on a break back through, because you gained a bunch of buyers that can add liquidity for a push down by gaining some momentum here and getting a little bit more money in, and you had more momentum to break down here. We couldn't quite get there, had a fake out up to here that come right back to the broadening wedge. And that's why I always say, we can let everybody come in here, ladies and gentlemen. Ready? You see people come in here every day and they say what we're doing doesn't matter, the charts don't matter, you know, the technical analysis for XRP is pointless, yada yada yada. And what I'll continue to tell you is let them speak that. Let them speak it. Don't get mad. Use the positivity. But remember, in order to see the truth, you need to see the nonsense. In order to see the light, you need to see the dark. In order to see if you have emotions, you need to be put into a response. That's what happened to me in the last couple of weeks. I was able to rise above it because I'm in a different mindset. But there's a lot of people that are going to come in here because they just don't understand, they don't want to see, and they just think that technical analysis is a joke, which a lot of them have a right to say that, because a lot of the people on social media legitimately don't know what they're talking about. So, Sean, welcome in, my main man from Maine. Hopefully you're having a blessed day, my friend. Nick and Fernando, Mark Caston, welcome in. Dean, already got to you. Gianni, welcome in. Let's go. All my buy orders filled up. Sounds, oh yeah, you had them right around the 58 cent mark, I believe, 585 level. James, always appreciate all the time and effort you give your subscribers. Your TA has always been on point. I appreciate that, James. Well, it's like I always say, if I'm going to try to keep myself updated, you know, I might as well keep my audience updated. And with all of you, I wouldn't be here without all of you anyhow. So, let's see. Jordan, don't know why Uphold only executed 1/3 of my orders. You have to look to see what the price is on Uphold. If very well the liquidity drop might not have been able to fulfill your order fully. That's why I like to do it myself. I don't like to trust the buy orders or the limit orders. Mondo, I lost hundreds of thousands to make millions. Yep. Honestly, Mondo, that's the way. I didn't lose hundreds of thousands. I lost thousands in the beginning, years and years ago, to try to get used to the whole thing. But now it's, what was that? I'm doing a live one. I'm doing a live one. Yeah. What was that? Yeah, yeah. I'll talk to you after. All right. Enjoy. Yes, sir. You be safe out there. Sorry, that's somebody who's working across the street. I always help him out. Older guy who works across the street, he's a little down on his luck right now, so I try to help him out a little bit. You know, when he needs, not like money or anything, but just like things to get him by, let's just say. That's enough said. So, let's see. I love welcome in. Thank you so much for that. Great work, Tom. I appreciate that. Rayleigh, thanks, brother. You called it. I tried to stay on top of it. I always try to stay on top of it. I always say I'll take the beating along the way because I know in time we're going to be proven right. So, but look, even this channel here, ready? I mean, you can see how it even broke down even with it. But that's already been done. That whole area is now invalidated. Now we need to validate the new support. And 585 is a great spot. Now, if we lose that, we know we come back to the ascending triangle breakout. This is where the breakout happened. And then you come down here to 546, maybe 55 cents. No problem, Rayleigh. I appreciate that. Sean Crowther's been waiting for your TA to happen. Yep, me too, Sean. I always say I'm so far out ahead of it, we have to wait a while for it to form. Are going up now, or is there a chance that we go even lower? We won't know yet. I'm legitimately right now in real time showing everybody exactly what can happen here, Black Richard. And I appreciate the question, but right now, what we need to see is if this is the support area down here at 585 on the wedge, the broadening wedge that is going to hold. Remember, this was the prediction on a rejection here. We come down to this broadening wedge, and that's exactly what's happened here. So that's why this level's here. And now we need to see if there's bulls here, ladies and gentlemen, because the honest to God truth is even in that weekly time frame, as we've talked about, with this weekly cup and handle, you can still come down to the 55 cent area. That's the formation breakout. And you can go farther back on the uptrend. I just kept it in the formation so that it would be easier to realize. So if this doesn't hold, this is still a standard operating procedure to come down at the weekly 20-day. That's where the golden cross was, and we might come down there to touch support. That's not a guarantee, as 585 was the level that I predetermined after this push up, as I've told everybody since 93 cents, 80 cents, 68 cents. Even when we bounce back to 85, it behooves us not to at least touch down in the 4-hourly to touch that 585. Especially when we broke down out of the bull flag, we had a death cross. Now the death cross can be satisfied. In 18 minutes, you're going to firmly see how this 100-day line crosses below the 200-day line, and things are going to start to line up properly now. So now we need to see, is this the spot where we get the parabolic spike, or do we still need liquidity? That's the bottom line here. The one way to tell if we were instantly bearish, and this is what I pre-warned, if we had a run down and it pushed down to, let's just say, it came down to 58, and let's just say it would have come right back up to 585 and got rejected, and then started moving down, that's a very bad sign. Very, very bad sign. That would have said we likely need to come down here, guaranteed to this 55 or 547. It might even be 545 by the time we get down here. But as it is, the 585 is the pattern double top breakout. Now we tested it as support. That's why I kept saying the 6133 makes no sense to hold that as the proper support. That was a broadening wedge breakout, but that wasn't the broadening wedge was formed around the double top. And then when we broke out of it, we had to break through the resistance at 613 simply because the broadening wedge formed out that way as an added tier of resistance, which showed ultimate strength to get over it. The 641 was simply created after a breakdown, and you need to get back above that because that was the bear flag that we needed to get back up and hold. That 614 doesn't become irrelevant because now it becomes a level of resistance on the way back up. Now, some will be like, well, Tom, how can we tell if we're going to continue down? That was a mighty big candle there. That was a 7, what was that? In 4 hours, that's 14, but that doesn't tell the story. Look at the 5-minute candle here. That 5-minute candle was huge. It got bought back up, a lot of it. And we bought back into a very important level. Remember the demand zone we talk about? So the demand zone, if you want me to break it down, where they were demanding they would only buy it from, they wouldn't buy it anywhere but around that 60 cents through the 62, 63 cents. That was a demand zone for some. A supply zone below it was 585 where people were like, I am not buying until it comes here. So you had a supply of buyers. I told you we have to hunt the money. So the first chance for the bulls to take over was not at 60 cents, was not at 613, it's at 585. The second attempt, if this breaks down, is the pattern formation breakout of the ascending triangle, which was before we broke out, which coincidentally, where I circled that is in the weekly time frame where you had the third ever golden cross. Now, oftentimes we had a better than 60% retracement, remember. 60% retracement from the top of the first breakout after a weekly golden cross. The last 2 instances this happened. So now at 586, we're down about 37, 38%. We dropped about 38. If we come down here, that's 41. If we were to have a 60% drop, and I know that this could make things interesting. Let me go back into the other time frame, because I want to see the potential here, because we still have, this is the uptrending support formed around this momentum here to this support, where it finally had the parabolic spike out of the golden cross formation in the weekly. I have that uptrend there. It's perfect because it's the ascending triangle breakout point. So what exactly happens here? Do we break through? Do we come back to the uptrend? Does this hold at the broadening wedge? Nobody says we need to come down 60%. We needed a healthy retracement, and 38% is a healthy retracement from the top. Now, some are like, well, where would 60% get you? I've heard this question many times. So let's add 22% to here. So if a 60% drop would get you back down to about 45 cents. That's this whole formation here. You don't really want to break below that, but it's understandable if that's what we decide to do. Then you would have to come back into your other positioning on the charts. And if you were to break this formation, your big uptrend right now, if you break that ascending triangle formation that we talked about, then you might have to come back to this 2020 uptrend at 377. That's a worst case scenario if this continues to break down. But look, what have we talked about since the beginning? Yes, we're in the short-term chart, but if we just pull this out, XRP standard operating procedure the entire time. High, lower high, lower high. Then you have rising support. You've got this formation that's filling. We had come up to the top of the resistance here, got rejected, and formed right back into this formation. If we continue moving down past the short-term support, XRP is going to have no choice but to come back and retest these uptrends. And it's a matter of where you think it's going to happen. Real quick before we go to the XRP market cap, has it dropped off over $2 billion today? It recovered some now. So to catch everybody up, we had the liquidity grab that we've been talking about for the last several days, better part of 2 weeks if we want to be honest. And finally had that liquidity grab. That's where we theorized we were going to come down. Tony, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sean, it did hold strong. We'll take a look at HBAR too in a second. I'll sneak that in here. Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. So great to see you in here. I love seeing you in here. How many people are in here? 178 people in here. Wow, only 66 likes. Wow, that's a little bit of we can do better than that, folks. Only 67 likes, 178 likes. I would like to believe being able to call this before it happens is worth all the likes. I would like to believe the fact that I come on here 6 times a day, come on here for the lives. I don't charge you anything. I don't do paid advertisements or promotions or paid sponsorships. I don't charge you for any part of my content. I think it's worth the like. Now, I would also appreciate a YouTube super chat if you feel the need, because of the work I do. If you don't want to hit the like button, you could also join Tom's Army, but I don't think that's necessary if you don't want to. All I think is necessary is for you to hit that like button so that I can push through the analytics more, and so this community can continue to grow. We're over 18,000, but we're still very small in the grand scheme of where we're going, and that's a guarantee. We haven't added where we're supposed to. Hey John, welcome in. Better late than never. You are right about that. Rat Rod, welcome in. I appreciate you. No worries, the likes are coming. Just caught up in the TSR time. No problem, OMC. Vincent Tran, nice call. Just bought some at the bottom. Don't know if that's the bottom yet, my friend. Vincent. You don't know if that's the bottom. Thank you so much. We're over 100 likes now. Doing much better. We don't know if it's the bottom yet, because if this would be used as resistance, we very well could come down to the ascending triangle breakout point. But this is our best logical hope to hold, to have a parabolic spike aside from coming down here, but that puts us into dangerous territory here. If you come down here and lose that ascending triangle formation, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Bang ID, why so sad? You know, one of my mods, if you keep spamming it, exactly. See, I don't even have to do anything. They only give so many chances. I have many mods that are floating around that I don't talk about. But Darren and Sean are in the house right now, so, you know, they will take care of it. No, it's okay. I bring up the likes just to bring up the likes because I think it's a sign of respect from everybody who's watching, in my opinion. Because if you appreciate it, but anyhow, let's not get into that. So this formation right now, we really are stuck in we're stuck in limbo right now. That is a very nice pull up though. That ate up the entire liquidity back into the demand zone. If this 30-minute, if this could close here, not just the 30, we're gonna need like an hour or 2 hour candle close. Because we're still within this hour. We gotta wait 10 minutes. But right now, that's a very big absorption here. If we break it down into the 3-minute, you can't really see it. The 1 minute, still can't really see it. We still need to come back up though. This better be the bottom. Might want to take it down just a little bit with the emotion because you're going to get yourself worn out. This right now, everybody, is standard operating procedure. There's still about a 50% chance that the lower lows are not even in. It's a 50% chance we can still break below our low so far. But you shouldn't be mad about it. You should be prepared. Don't you understand the game that's going on right now? Not just crypto, but all of finance. But every single step, you can make an informed decision. The reason why I do it. I stay very far ahead, and yes, I know a lot of you always say I'm way ahead of the charts, and it's hard sometimes to keep up until it happens, and then you realize what's going on. And I understand that. That's why every single time something's about to happen, I will beat a dead horse and say 7% drop anticipated. If 633 rejects, 7% drop. If this formation does not confirm the uptrend, 7%, and I kept beating a dead horse. And everybody, you know, and you get a lot of the comments that come in, which I appreciate. Now, it used to detest me when people would come in, gaslight me, act like I'm saying something I'm not. Now I appreciate it because you need the darkness to see the light. You don't know the truth without the lies. You don't know who's being real without all the fake. Even on YouTube, you don't know who has your best interests at heart until you see the movements of the market. When I front run this for everybody, it makes it a lot easier. That's why I don't charge. That's why I have to have everything free. So many people tell me I lose a lot of money doing it this way. I don't believe that. Money's not everything. I do plenty well with what I do. No, it was YouTube changing servers. Can everybody hear me still? Or Tom is not just a pro TA. He is genuine and honest, which is rare these days. Yeah, I mean, some people tell me that's my greatest weakness. And the greatest strength, actually. But, you know, I'm very honest. Where does it need to close to be optimistic? That's a tough call. It's a tough call. For this to be optimistic, first step, we have to stay above here for the daily close. You don't want to be closing below 58.5. You want to actually, if you want me to be honest, you don't want to close under 60 cents. As right now, it's just a wick under that 597. So, I mean, this whole thing could be a fake out. This could be a way to get out the longs prior to a big parabolic spike. But for me to be comfortable, you're looking for that broadening wedge later at 613. You want to be over that. And then ultimately, for us to start to be out of the woods, as I've said, and I'll continue to say, with this death cross here in the 4 hourly, now pretty much taken care of. We've got 6 minutes to probably see this, finalize this death cross movement, at least solidify it. This 100 needs to come through the 200. Whenever that's still above it, you always know that something's wrong. Unless you invalidate it, which we tried here. Once you come back through and start using that newly formed uptrend as resistance, it's only a matter of time. A lot of people will spin it because they want to talk all the bullish nonsense, even if it's in a bearish cycle, and that's fine. But I would rather be in a position to where I know where it's going. And now, while everybody's scrambling, you won't see anybody on YouTube coming on or in social media or Twitter or whatever talking in these moments. But I like to come on in the action moments, whether it's going up, whether it's coming down, and we all get on the same page. So for XRP right now, the main thing we're looking for is the 4 hourly. We're going to see if this candle closes, how much strength we have. Right now, we've pushed back to 604. I highly doubt we're going to get over 613 for this 4 hour candle, which is fine. It's not the end of the world by a long shot. Being over 60 cents and staying in the demand zone is very key. We tapped the supply zone so far in this 4 hourly at 585. So right now we're looking pretty solid if we don't continue breaking down. You know, so we could always continue breaking down, hitting this area as resistance. 130 likes, 160, wow, 164 people watching now. Is there really? That's pretty impressive. So many of you are tuning in on a drop like this. The FCK, that's what we've been talking about. We were looking for a little bit of like a cheat sheet here. If we would have overran this and got rejected initially at 585, it would have been easy to target 55 cents. It still is, but we first need to get a rejection here. This is your first real layer that we can hold to get the bull support. It's that simple. Yep, only around 30 people now didn't hit the like button. It's come way up now. Not even 30 people. Because there's still people leaving, remember. We just got an influx and now people leave. A lot of people come in for the first, you know, bit of information, but now you'll notice I got through the technical analysis. Now it'll start chilling out a little bit because we got through the big questions. So real quickly, while we're letting this settle, we'll go to the market cap after, but let's touch HBAR. And I seen a question for somebody from old times about Shiba. We can look at Shiba. I talk about Shiba a lot during the lives. It's just a matter if it's within a flow. So with HBAR, we talked about this on this morning's update, especially in the 4 hourly. It started off as a long leg doji, but it didn't finish in the 4 hourly. So in the 3 hourly, you can clearly see what we were talking about in the 4 hourly if it was going to finish. And then the next 3 hour candle was bearish, which brings that momentum. So now for HBAR, you're going to be looking first at 657. If that doesn't hold, I think it behooves us, like I used to say with XRP, it behooves us not to hit 585. It behooves us not to hit the long-standing channel resistance here, where it broke down on resistance. Let me pull out my arrow. Where it broke down on resistance here, came down, it was support, then the resistance came down, came way up, resisted, now back up. It leads me to believe, which is why I made this momentum move here and then come back down. It has to come back down here, I think, to 625 and hold support. 625, 618, somewhere wherever it hits 62, but it needs to hold that channel support now. That's what I think is happening with HBAR. If you're new, we do FOMO Fridays on Fridays, where we did acquire 9 weeks worth of HBAR at $50 a week. Last week we did a little bit more to top it off at 10,057 tokens. We have a 5.2 average started at the end of May. So we're very interested in what HBAR does long term as well. And we found a very creative way as a community to get ourselves into HBAR, which is a very big player in the times to come. So that's HBAR. Hopefully that helps. And then somebody was asking about Shiba, which is on a retracement now, which is why I always tell everybody, don't buy when it's in the momentous of the move, but buy when it's trying to confirm the move. Right now, Shiba's trying to confirm the move. This is the golden cross. This is a golden cross in the daily just about to take place. If this holds right here at about the 9319, which it already has, had an overzealous drop. Actually, it had a nice rebound back up to 984. That is exactly what you want to see. That's a liquidity grab at the golden cross point that hasn't even happened yet in the daily. On this daily candle close, if it moves up around the one, about the one area, the 995, 98, this should allow this golden cross to happen. This is still looking very bullish. That dump of liquidity is a very bullish dump off. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people that lost a lot of money just now, because what ends up happening is they buy right up here at the 1-1 level, and now they're already down 15, 17. They get shaken out. So with Shiba, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say, but be careful here. Ready? I'm not going to, no. Is it a good time to buy Shiba? That's a loaded question because Shiba still isn't out of the woods. And I know it looks like it should be out of the woods because of what it just did, but let me show you something to encapsulate what's actually going on here. So you could even start up here. I don't know if we're going to use the daily. I think I'm going to do it like that. Even though I could come down a little farther, I think I'm going to do it like that because that's the top of that daily candle. We can get a beautiful wick there. We're not out of the woods. If you were going to buy Shiba, you can't buy it yet after this drop off. I'm going to show you why in a second. Man, that is a... Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to do this a little bit different. Because Shiba's already shown 2 lows here. You cannot just invalidate that until it happens. So here's why, if we do this properly, watch this. That is not even close to being finished. And I know that's just a wick in the daily, and I'm using wicks. We can do it without the wicks, but I think that is the way to look at this formation. And right now, this is where you have to be careful. You had a high, and you came down, consolidated, lower high. You can even say here, here, and here, but I'll go from here, lower high, low, lower low. So now, I mean, what have we done here? We're really in a bear flag. I know it always seems spicy sometimes. Resistance, support. Back up here. That's why I said we can show the other version. Yeah, I might as well. I'll have both forms so you don't have to just go from a wick. We can even go from here, and in the other time frames, this will help you clarify this part of the move. But that's where those formations are getting resisted upon. It's slightly different, not much, but that's in the daily. You would have to go into the 4 hourly to make sure it lines up. But it's a very wide move, so that looks pretty good on that first part. Just go back in the daily so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep it like that. No point to mess it up here or make it harder to understand. So with Shiba, looking at that, how many people are watching? 169 people watching, 153 likes. I greatly appreciate that. I seen a donation as well. Thank you so much, whoever started the donations off. Let me look at my phone. Axel, thank you so much for the $2.99. I greatly appreciate that. First donation of the night. That is always incredibly generous of you. So if you were going to do this, yes, I know you're getting supported on the Golden Cross, but as you know, you can come down farther. If you're looking to buy and be like, okay, this is breaking out, I think it's foolish to buy it right here. You would wait for this breakout, retest, and hold. You want to be on the top side of this on support before you buy this. Because there's a big chance here. There's a big chance here with Shiba, with the rejection here. Look how big of a drop that is to the bottom. If this plays out true, I'm not saying it's going to because we almost have a golden cross in the daily. That's your bottom side potential right now, a 61% drop from the downtrending resistance. Got to be very careful here before you jump into something just because it's running. I say the same thing with XRP. I'll say it with everything. That is the formation. Unless it breaks out here, which we got a huge spike of volume, which could help validate the move. Bad timing to sell Shiba. Actually, in fact, if you sold it right here, you actually made this most solid move you could make when it hit that resistance. If you're just a swing trader, it would mean you understood the formation and that a golden cross was forming and you could save 20% on that dip after you sold out, if that's what you were looking for. I'm not looking to sell out, but if you're a swing trader, that would have been the time to do it on that rejection there. So that's what we're looking at for Shiba. So if you need to take a picture of that, that's the formation. But I've spent much too much time on Shiba. Somebody said XLM. XLM I'll always cover. XLM, we own the same amount of tokens as with XRP. Remember what I talked about with XLM. First target was 12.5 I thought we had to come down to. We came below that. If we break down any farther, but look at the recovery, up to 12.7. So we did have a wick only, and then 12.5 was used as that support. I know it's crazy, but it did use that as the ultimate support. It had a wick down, which is normal. Now, if this is going to stay bullish, 12.5 has to be the support here. And because it put in what looks like a bull flag here, if it tests this and now holds 12.5, this is a nice way to move up. I have 12,222 XRP tokens. Same thing with XLM and XDC. 10,057 HBAR. I got them all at much lower levels than they are now. In fact, XLM's still up by over 100%. What else do we have? We have ZIL, VChain at 22,222 tokens. DGB at 62,222 tokens. Casper, 6,000 tokens. Doing it on FOMO Fridays, $50 a week. Algo, we have 3,000 tokens. We're doing Winning Wednesdays tomorrow for the 6th week. We have 3,000 tokens so far. So we're building on our list as well. Thank you, Mr. Brokey. I appreciate it. I just wanted to update anybody who was new. So, can we come down here? If you break this formation, somebody asked if we can come to 11.5. That area has already been tested. 11.8 is close enough to 11.5. So, 11.5, I don't think that's where your next hold would be. If we break below 12.5 and reject it, 10.3 is your firm area. 10.3 would be where you're looking. So, we have to be careful. If these become bearish out of these formations, this tells you everything right now. Tells you everything. Actually about to sell all my shit coins for quality projects like that. Yep, I told you. If anybody follows my philosophy, I only buy ISO token, the ISO 20022 compliant tokens, the Internet of Things tokens, and the ones that interject, like with ZIL, it interjects into what we call the meme or the gaming side of it, and they have this Liquidity network, which is huge. It's very untapped and very under talked about, but it's a huge thing. Also, through Julie, we have 10,150 Doge as well. So that's another angle as well. Julie's a big fan of Doge, so we continue to buy that at good spots. We can't buy it now, but so you've been able to buy on eToro till today. What is going on? So does anybody else know about this with XRP? We have somebody in the audience that can't buy on eToro and has been doing it for 2 years. What's going on with that? Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. I didn't even think about that. It could be down. That's a good point. So just a personal advice from me to you. I use Uphold, as most of you know, but for times of volatility, I use FEMX because it didn't go down. It didn't go down during this whole drop. Didn't go down during the entire 94% pump. So if you're looking for an exchange that is up during these volatile moments, I'll share it. I'm not a partner, so you got to go through the registration yourself. But that's another on-off ramp. So I like to keep stuff on there. I have the equivalent to about 3,000 tokens of XRP price-wise on FEMX. No, I do buy and sell those because I buy stuff in the USA with XRP, so I always look to get the best dollar value. So that is not the accumulation site. That is just for when I need to buy something. If there's a dip, I can send it to my native wherever I send it. Some people use wallets, some people use exchanges, some people use other third-party things. I'm not here to judge anybody what you do. You do whatever you think is comfortable. All I'm here is to give you the information. But with XLM, it looks like it's putting in a bull, or a little bit of a bull flag here maybe. We're gonna try to hold that 12.5 area. We need to hold this area right here. Let me darken that up. Whoops. So we need to hold that area. So that's with that. And then with the XR, does that make sense to everybody? And we'll look at XDC as well because that's part of the 3Xs. And XDC right now, another one that's in a very volatile position here. We have a cross here, bullish cross in the 30. So short term, we're trying to shape up. We didn't lose on XDC. We didn't lose 575 yet. But as you've seen with XRP, we had a volatile spike down just like here. This is a good sign though. In the 4 hourly, see this? Dump, dump, dump. This is a very, very interesting. This right here, this looks like a gravestone doji. A gravestone doji, it suggests that there's more bearish bias, but it's still determined by the next candle, just like the long leg doji. It looks more bullish. It looks just like this, except top heavy right here. So nice if we can actually show this now. Long leg doji, dragonfly doji right here. We have a gravestone doji right here. And then we know the long leg doji, similar to this, equal shadowing on each side. Long leg, gravestone, dragonfly, gravestone doji, which shows there's a little more seller, there's a little more sellers, but it's still dictated by the next candle movement. So the next candle was ultra bullish. That still doesn't mean we're out of the woods here, but now it does mean that this candle is going to have to break, and the next successive candles, this one, the next one, wherever in the 4 hourly, we need to break above 653 or 654 on XDC before we lose the bottom of this gravestone candle. You do not want to come below that now. That 599 has to be firm support now. If you lose that, that is a bearish indication right here that, yes, we're indecisive, but aside from a spike in volume, we could have broke down. But what can invalidate that movement, as we just said? The spike in volume, 1.82 million, after a candle of 5.23K, after 5,000, after 283,000, but particularly 5,000. This is supposed to be the, okay, here we go. Instead, we reversed 1.82 million. Now it's starting to look a little more bullish here. But you don't know yet. You don't know yet, because this could just be an exhaustive move. But we don't know yet. But that was a nice reversal out of there. It could sneakily be doing a reversal. You haven't lost the key area of support at 575, which is now lined up with the 200-day and the 4-hour time frame. So pay attention to that very closely, as now we can kind of tear this pattern down a little bit. That channel was broken, and now if we want to just, hey Tom, what's the easiest way to watch this pattern? Because I'm not very good at technical analysis. I don't have the time to watch it, or I just like the way you do it better than myself. Well, I'll give it to you for any of those reasons or more. The only rule I have in here is stay positive. That's it. Because in crypto, the biggest enemy we have is our emotion. The biggest enemy we have is our emotion and our loyalty, period. So don't be loyal to any kind of price action. Don't be loyal to any kind of movement. Take it as it comes. So right now with XDC, we're going to see where we meet. So that looks like we're this formation, assuming if we stay more bullish, this formation should hold, no doubt. It's in a little bit of a descending triangle, which some will call bear flag. And now we need to hold that 575. Otherwise, the targeted move, just so we're on the same page, everybody. Just so we're on the same page, and I'm going to be generous. We're not going to even do the whole move. I'm just giving you a point of reference for when, if I'm not here, in case this gets used as rejection, you'd simply be coming back down to that 344 area. So on a rejection for XDC, you'd come through. Right now, though, we're trying to save space. We're trying to hold serve. We have a huge spike in volume. But we need to see if this is standard operating procedure, because all we did was came from the horizontal or slightly declining support, and it came back to resistance. Lower high, lower high, lower high, low. Somewhat of maybe, is that a horizontal? No, I don't know. It's kind of a lower low, but it's mainly horizontal, but slightly lower lows. So this could be compressing into a descending triangle. A descending triangle, although it looks like a bear flag, but a descending triangle with the proper hold of support there at the apex is actually a bullish reversal in the making, assuming you don't get a huge sell candle, which we survived the first step at 575. Mr. Brokey, what's a good average to start dollar cost averaging for XRP? Honestly, I know my average is lower than what I'm going to say, but if you're not in XRP and you are chomping at the bit to get in, I said initially 585 for some, but it's tough in this area. It's tough because where did my chart go? Can you believe that? Hold on. It very well, you could find yourself coming down much faster than you anticipate by buying in these ranges, because it has had the parabolic spike here of 94%. We don't know how much farther we're going to consolidate. In fact, we're kind of in between here. We're kind of in a weird spot. Now, 585 could have been a spot where we were pointing at for anybody who hadn't got in, or the 55 cent level if it comes below that. But 585, I was saying, if that's where you decided to make the play, you have to buy consistently every 20% down. So let's say you bought $1,000 worth of XRP at 585. That means when it gets 20% below that, because you don't know where it's going, you'd have to buy $200 worth every 20% down. And it would be an increased amount of tokens every time it comes down. But what it does is you allow yourself 10 buys, because that's a 100% drop from where you buy in. You allow yourself 10 buys, and that means you don't have to have all the money at once, but it means you have to do due diligence to have the money there, the allotment, so that you have dry powder for every 20% move. What I do is a time-tested system. It didn't start in crypto. I lost thousands of dollars before I realized this system in commodities. I made a lot of money, though, storing my value in precious metals while learning this whenever I had a profit. But now, the best way to do it when you're buying spot is if you think you're in a perfect spot, a nice consolidation in a bear market, you buy every 20% down from your average buy. If you're a leverage trader, the best thing you can do as a leverage trader, if you're buying, I suggest, and I don't promote leverage trading, I think it's the easiest way to give up your stack. And the main reason for that is most people, they have an agreement to do tech, as Colin is saying. They're not a full partner yet. It's in the works. There's something on the Ripple X, and there's other parts that it's something different than a lot of people are saying about Amazon. There's not even really any new news. This is old news anyhow. People are just regurgitating it because they're behind. Not you in the comments, the people you're seeing on social media. So if you're doing leverage trading, the main thing you need to remember, if you're doing a 10x trade, that's the highest I advise you to do, and I'll tell you why. I have the same strategy. You can even do it at 5x, but 10x, if you can't mark within a 10% move, that if you buy somewhere and it goes down farther than 10%, you've got to kick dirt when it goes down another 1%. And you gotta save face. But if you can't get it right within a 10 buy zone, which means every 1% you have to put in 10%. So if you have $1,000 to put towards your leverage trade, you set it to 10x. Let's say you buy at 58 cents. You got to buy 10% more when it goes 10% down. And you have to repeat that. And you might not get all 100%, but it gives you 10 equal buys. So as long as you hit it within the 10%, as long as you do it within a 10% move, you have 10 buys. As long as it happens anywhere between that 10%, you're golden. Even if it happens the first time, so what, you have $100 in, 10x leverage, that's a $1,000 trade. It can be up to a $10,000 trade depending on how many hits on leverage you hit. That's why when you're looking at it, you don't worry about the first couple moves down. Who cares? That's what you want. Once you get towards 7 and 8, you're like, uh-oh, did I read this right or what? You really want it to stop around 5 or 6. So maybe 5% pullback after you put in, gives you 5 equal buys in. Your average will be brought down by 50%. So if you bought in at 5.8, it would be 50% below that, depending on where the endpoint was. And that is what I do in leverage trading. It's what I used to do copy trading, and why I stopped copy trading and having people follow me, because it would only let you do the first trade on BitGet. So what's the point of that when we were able to use it? If I do 10 trades and I'm setting up a strategy and it doesn't let you follow it, it's very detrimental for you, and a lot of people were getting screwed out of it. So that's why I stopped doing copy trading as a whole. Until I find a platform that can instill my strategy, I won't do it. It's not fair. So with the DXY, I seen comments. Is that how many people are here listening to me still? 180 people, 173 likes. You've been more than generous. More than generous. I can't even thank you enough. Thanks, Crypto Scrooge. Excellent strategy. I appreciate that. If you don't own XRP, you're about to regret it for the rest of your life. No, for sure. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. And you might not even overly realize it until 2028, when the last financial institution and or bank can use the old system. So I don't say that's when it's going to break up, but that's the last opportunity for a financial institution, for a bank, to use the old framework, because there's been extensions pushed out. 2025 might be where we have to wait for the big expansion, if it's going to come early. That doesn't mean we can't get minuscule movements to $1.13 or $1.60. I don't think anything's big until we get to all-time highs. I don't. Because with all of the added liquidity, all the added resistance, all the people that have been bought in, we're going to be looking at a healthy 50% correction from all-time highs. I can almost guarantee that. There's no way around that order book. I've studied it up and down since 2021, going all the way back to that all-time high around 2017. There is no way out of that order book. There are so many sell orders when you get to 250, even people that are underwater. They have sell orders to cut it off before it even gets back to the top. They don't care. They have thresholds. So we're going to have to do a lot of covering. There's going to be a lot of people that are going long as well with leverage that we're going to have to liquidate because they're going to think it's going to go even higher. So there's going to be a big move coming up there. And then that next move off of that is going to be a real life changer. But we have time. Time's our friend. And like I always say, I know some of us are older. Some of you are older than I am. My dad's 60... what does he turn this year? My dad turned 66 this year. I turned 40, or my dad turned 65, I apologize. I turned 40, my dad will be 65. So, you know, some of you are probably around my dad's age. That doesn't mean it's over. I don't even consider anybody getting older until you hit 70. So if you come at me with you're old and you're not 70, I don't buy into it. Yes, it gets a little harder when you get older, but that's an indictment on how you, unless you have something seriously wrong, it's more of an indictment of how you take care of yourself leading to that point. And I believe the human body can deal with a lot of stuff until 70. But I still believe in today's day and age, if you do things right, do it the holistic approach, and that's all I can say, or I'll get banned. You know, there's, we got a long longevity here. So, right now, total, or the US dollar currency index, this looks like a rising channel is forming. Those are bearish reversals at the top. Yeah, FAMX. That's the exchange I use for, if you're going to leverage trade and you're in the USA, no VPN, no KYC in the USA, unless you're using a bank account or something, you're obviously going to want to do a KYC. But like myself, I don't want to do a KYC if I'm just using it for on and off ramping. So whoever asked me, that's FAMX right there if you're interested. You can do your leverage trading and whatnot. Lowest spot maker fee as well. So get around the higher cost of uphold if you want. And then send it to where you want. Wallet, wherever, exchanges, I don't really care what you do with it. So 103 spot 666 is the resistance right now. It would behoove us not to test it, and I like that word, but it would. So right here is where the total, or the US dollar currency index would likely probably hit. If we recover here, it means that we're going in heavy before the BRICS summit on the 22nd to try to overvalue our dollar and try to show more strength in the oil reserves. Terry, I don't know if you're here, but she spoke of it in my comments earlier, which was a very insightful comment. Some might not have thought it would make sense with crypto, but it made a lot of sense with the US dollar. There's a lot of money being put into petro to try to overinflate the dollar, especially on the backs of what happened yesterday with India not using the US dollar to buy oil for the first time. So that's what we're looking at here. That's very, very honest. The total crypto market cap, very, very easy to determine here. We could be forming what looks like some of these inversions. This could be an inverted head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If not, it's creating a topping reversal and we're in some trouble. So it's in our best interest to hold 1.126, not come down to the 1095. But this is why I keep it up like this. I know the levels. So even with the total crypto market cap, we're in a channel right now, and the resistance is up here, support's down here. That's major resistance, why it's pink. And we knew it could shoot down very quickly if we got rejected. Real support at 1126, had a wick below, but now we're going to try to use it. Are we going to stay there? We're below it right now, so that's something to be observant to. Bitcoin. How you doing?
Still working?
Oh yeah, still working.
What exactly are you doing?
Oh, with my community, my technical analysis. Talk about crypto.
Exactly what you do.
I do crypto. I do technical analysis.
Cool.
Take it. No problem. I always think about you. You know.
See a camera.
Yeah, it's on the front of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen.
Yeah, no, you won't get seen on it. I promise. There's 177 people watching right now. So.
And they're all teachers and something. Or
Yeah, well, we do our crypto stuff.
paid for it.
Well, if they donate money, you know, if they donate, or you know, there's people in Tom's Army that show
crypto went
generosity.
down.
Oh, it did. That's why we're here. We keep everybody in the flow. If you watch,
They're obviously paying you bills, so it's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, my investing. That's what I tell. I'm teaching the strategy. That's exactly what I do. I pay my bills just like with the strategy, and then I do this, build a following, and you know, it helps.
That's awesome.
Somebody said, "What's up, neighbor?" This is actually, he works across street. So all the times you guys see Napa, he's one of them.
I'm a Napa dude.
Yeah, he. But
I don't
We'll talk after. Appreciate it, man.
Work hard, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. So with XRP right now, seeing that's the question I get asked all the time from the people at Napa. How do you pay your bills if you're always home? And I keep trying to tell all of them that I have an investing strategy that I've been using. And I teach technical analysis because that's how I pay my bills, is through how I know my analysis. I did this a long time before I started on YouTube, for several years. So, but right now, I grew some stuff out in the backyard, the cannabis last year, and I still have stuff from last year, and I have stuff growing this year again. But like I said, he's going through a hard time and stuff, and so I just give him my extras. So honestly, I gave him probably, I don't even know how much worth, because I don't care. It's more about he's hurting, he's been through a lot of stuff. And, that's an easy way for me to pay it forward. It's not costing me anything. It's just a little bit of my labor doing it in the summers. Not big deal. So I like to pay it forward. I don't talk about it, but I do a lot of, I'm not going to talk about it. Jay, thank you so much. Welcome in. Jan, love, thank you. And the neighbor has gone back down to work. Double K's, let's bring it to 200 likes. We're at 191. Wow, really? 9 more likes. And you know what's funny, Jan? He's not even my neighbor. He just works at Napa across the street, but I've gotten to know him like a neighbor. Nobody knows who he is, but he actually is down on his luck, and he's living at the hotel. So, you do what you can. Support with a little bit of food here and there, and do what you got to do. You just make it sound like it's just, hey, I've got a little bit of extra. You never put somebody in an awkward position. So I thank them for taking the stuff from me. I thank him like you're doing me a favor. Not the other way around, because he is doing me a favor. He's cleansing my soul. Because I'm getting the message from our Lord and Savior, and I'm doing something productive. We're doing something we need to do. There's nothing, you don't want anything back. That's the thing. You're not looking for something in return. And then it comes full circle. So, right now, I'm going to light my relaxation, by the way. We're about 57 minutes into this. Does everybody understand what's going on here? Yep, Crypto Poppy, it filled out our positioning. It filled out. So right now with XRP, if you're just tuning in, we have to watch this formation right now. We won't know for about 3 hours and 35 minutes, until 3 hours and 35 minutes, if this is still going to stay bullish up here. It looks like this is a nice pull-up. When you see it getting eaten up like this can sometimes flip what looks like a start of a bear flag into a reversal, which could start a new bull flag here. We'll see. Yes, Fiona, it could go parabolic from here. This is the real first layer, this double top. We finally retested the double top breakout. The only problem we have here, and it's not a problem yet, let me preface this by, it is not a problem yet, because we managed to not get rejected down here and use the 585 as resistance when we came down through 58. We pulled out very quickly. And like I said, I felt like there had to be a liquidity sweep or a flush to get all of the money. I knew there was buys here by the order book. And I theorized, some people refused to buy at 585 because they thought they were going to continue to get a chance because they kept getting rejected there 3 separate times. And then some just didn't get a chance to buy because it went through so quickly and they didn't get a support until it comes down to 613. So it can go parabolic, but I will keep you understanding that we could come down to the ascending triangle if we're going to go parabolic as well. You start coming back below here, that's not good. We still have room. I'll show you the weekly volume in a minute because it is breaking down. Michael, good man, thank you so much. Roland agrees as well. I appreciate you guys with that giving mindset. That's the way we really need to be. Tom, any thoughts on Solo? Yes, we'll look at Solo. Remember I talked that it was in a falling channel at one point. So we'll look at it. We'll look at Solo. I've got that here. We can sneak down there as I'm going through the comments. And Casper as well. So we talked about this in the 4-hourly. We had a breakout. Remember what I said? We had to retest it. Oh, I don't know why I keep saying remember what I said. Because if you weren't here, how are you going to remember what I said? But if we broke out from here to invalidate the death cross, remember, which we failed again. We keep trying to let me get rid of this. We keep trying to invalidate the death cross and we didn't get to do it, and we fulfilled the entire movement, believe it or not. So we have this long-standing channel on Sologenic, and if you're interested in Solo getting live updates, which at some point I will be covering Solo like I do the rest, but we're not vested yet. So Crypto Solo Scrooge, who started in this community, he's pushing 600 subscribers, believe it or not. And if you want to pay it forward with him, just type in Crypto Solo Scrooge, and he's in here all the time. I don't know if he's still in here right now, but he's been here since the very beginning, like legitimately since the beginning. So now for Solo, we have this falling channel. Remember, falling channels, I know it doesn't seem like it. I always say this with falling channels. They are bullish reversals. You come out, in this case, we had the death cross. You come out to the 200-day resistance, and you're going to get rejected. That is a total normal move. Now, you need to come down here and hit about, and Crypto Solo Scrooge is here. Scrooge, please share your link to your channel. There's 178 people in here, and we're getting asked questions about Solo, and you do it every single day. So he's homegrown from the community. He's come a long way, and he's like 600 subscribers. He's well on his way to that 1,000 subscriber goal. So if you're interested, he does a phenomenal job. He doesn't FUD it up. He's not advertising nonsense. He's showing you what I show you, what I do. He's doing it in a different way with his own stuff. So with this channel, that's a very big falling channel. I mean, if this has a reversal, if you hold this, it's a very big reversal. You have to hold this 1178 approximately, because that's approximately where it's going to hit. I suppose it could keep riding down just a little. Hold on, just a little bit more. What did I do with my channel? Oh, there we go. I guess it could come down farther because this was pulled up. Okay, no, we're right on it. Okay. Yeah, so this is right. You're welcome, Solo Scrooge. So, and thanks for sharing that with everybody who's interested. So if this holds, you'd have a very big reversal possibly taking place. You really, like I said before, you don't want to stay in that channel though. If you get into that channel, it could be a problem. Right now though, it's holding the support. The breakdown volume is collapsing, which is what you want to see. The breakout, you had approximately, 431,000. Down here, we've had 31,000, or not 31, 264. On this breakdown, you had 37,000, so volume's drying up. If you break back into the down channel, the falling channel, then you know if this breaks down, there is the potential to come way back down to 9.5. How you doing, my friend? Good, good. If you keep moving this, if you break 11.7, that's where 11.78 is where you can push back into this channel. Right now, we push back. This is our first breakout attempt of this channel, like real breakout attempt. That's why it's so important. And it's hard because it's like, where's the consolidation? You can go with this light area, but it's going to end up bringing you back to, okay, so if it needs to use this uptrend, see, this is what I like to see. Not even an uptrend, but if it needs to use this again, and it would need to get support because this is a fake out. If this breaks, I mean, you're looking at the logic of here, but I don't know. I don't know if it needs to do that because we came up and we held here again, and we had a layer of consolidation. So you could, you know what? Maybe. Okay, so that could end up being a wide range if we fall back into. So look out there if it does keep getting rejected here. So this is kind of a crossing point here. And then if you break the channel, so we're just going to fill this out. What the hell? What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't go through the whole thing. Where's this at? So I mean, maybe, but you don't really want it to go way down there. You would like this new uptrending support here to take control on Solo. You had this breakout. This is where the movement happened. You formed the flag and you broke out, did it again. But I'm trying to layer this for everybody just in case. So a bullish reversal over the channel, but it is slightly flipping bearish here. Even though it's crossed up, this is where you can get squeezed. So we're looking for a parabolic spike. So pay attention to that with Solo. And then for Casper, anybody buying on FOMO Fridays, we bought 6,000 Casper. We started in here, had a breakout. No, yeah. We started prior to this breakout. We got mad because it started breaking out, but pushed down, fortunately. So now, yes, Crypto Scrooge, we desperately want buyers there on Solo. Otherwise, we could have a harsh correction. But it's still fine. It's not it's not anything terrible yet. So right now, with Solo on FOMO Fridays, and we're gonna go back to XRP because I got to get back to XRP. But everybody asks questions, and I try to do it in a real interesting way. So Casper, we've done 6 installments of $50 roughly, or 5 installments. We've got 6,000 tokens. If you're interested in joining us on FOMO Fridays, it's during the live. We just do $50 a week until we get to 10,000 tokens. We prior did it with HBAR, and we finished that off after 9 weeks. And on Winning Wednesdays, which is tomorrow, we buy $50 or $75 a week in algo. So right now with Casper, until we get to 10,000, we have 3,000 tokens. And we started buying at 96% off, just sub 11 cents on algo. So 356 is the support we're going to try to hold here as we're back firmly within this little channel formed. So that's where we need to look at for there. Otherwise, we need to break resistance up here and get above 386 to try to push the 4-1. Right now, I think it's still a little early, though, to have the ultimate breakout, which is what we're banking on. Which is why we started so late with Casper. What are the other questions? It's okay. It's okay if some people leave. Oh, still 154 people, but it's okay if some of you leave because I do bounce around. We do cover other things. We're a very wide community here, but I mainly focus on XRP, as we know. The updates during the day are XRP. Hey, I appreciate that, KB, subscribing to Scrooge. Awesome. Yassine, is it a good time to buy XRP for accumulating? I mean, I'm never going to tell you it's not a good time when we're this far under $1. This is the first area that you can start accumulating at 585, in my opinion. But you're going to have a buy strategy 20% below that. Every 20%, you buy 20% more. And you make sure you have enough money to do that in 5 installments. So if you spend $1,000, you're going to have to make sure you have $1,000 to back it up by the time it gets to the bottom. If you spend $3,000, you might not even need to spend the same amount dollar-wise, but you're going to want to spend 20% and get more because you're trying to average out your positioning. Right now, mine, for transparency purposes, is at 346. That's my average from the bear market. I sold out in 2021 at $1.66 after having a 47-cent average with the community who was following, only like maybe around 1,000 people back then. And now we were able to buy back in late 2022, early 2023 and establish a 346 average. And now we can't buy until it's 20% below that. We're firmly in place. So if it never happens, it never happens. But if you're just buying in and you're accumulating, this would be the first touchdown. This is definitely an accumulation phase. This entire 2023 is accumulation. In fact, until you break the dollar mark, you could say it's accumulation depending on your strategy. If I was only buying XRP and nothing else, I would accumulate right now even. But as it is, I have a plan for the Internet of Things tokens, the ISO 20022 tokens, as everybody is well aware of. So that's what we're looking at. Mike DeVos, XR Ponzi, go to 0. I mean, that's a lot of the opinion that's out there that don't understand. Unfortunately, what you miss out there, you don't have to delete the message. I can still see the message even if you delete it on my phone or on here when it comes up, but that's all right. You can think it's a Ponzi, and you know what? I honestly don't blame you for having that emotional response. There's so many people on TikTok, YouTube, social media, and the news media outlets that are misleading everybody, making them think it's going to go to 5 digits so quickly, or that it's even a possibility at some point to go to 25,000, which you can have hope, but don't live on hopium. What we do around here is a little bit different. Mike, it's a little bit different. We base it around the movements of bear markets, and if it goes into the next bull market and we have to sell, so be it. I did it in 2021. We made a lot of money, and now we're back in at 90 to 97% savings, some 99% savings, depending on your local tokens from where we sold. So if it goes down 50% from here, I'm very happy because I'm going to continue to accumulate when it's 20% below my new buy-in at 346. And until then, I'm going to continue to accumulate on other ones like Algo right now and Casper that are very far down from the bottom. Algo's 95, 96% down from its highs right now from the bull market. So there's a lot of phases here. So I wish it went to 30 cents, Mike Hunt. It may not. That might be a possibility. There's a 50% chance we still get to lower lows. My greatest hope is we go sub 20. But I'm not gonna live on hopium. So I had a buyback plan in 2021 after I sold out, but I didn't know it was going to take about 1.5 years to do. I didn't like not owning it or not acquiring or accumulating, but I told everybody I have a very sound plan that I was going to show everybody day by day. And it's now we're in a portfolio where, you know, we took a $4,700 portfolio or $4,800, $5,000, wherever it's at now. And even in a bear cycle, we're still over 11,000, 10, 8, 11. So, I mean, it's not like we have room that we're like, oh my God, we're down 50% in this motion. We're still up better than 100% on most of our tokens. XRP slightly below 100% now, as it would have to be around 69 cents. But many others, we're still in very good shape. We're still in great shape with XRP because we have dry powder. That's what everybody misinterprets. The dry powder so that we can continue to accumulate. I never sell accumulation phases. I'm not paying 20% tax when I only have to. I'm not going to pay 35% if I understand an accumulation phase and I can hold over a year. I'm coming up almost onto a year. We're getting closer by the end of this year. So then it would drop down to 15% in the United States. So that's a strategy I invoke in accumulation phases and bear markets. I'm not going to keep giving the government 20% of my profits. It's just not going to happen over what I need to. I was forced to in 2021 because we pumped so quick. This is a completely different cycle, folks. So with the total crypto, with the XRP's market cap, as long as we use the 3141, as I was saying, as that support, we wicked down, but we managed to come back above. Now our next step is to get back above 323. That would mean you don't necessarily have to come down here to the 28.5 billion. But if we do break this formation, we absolutely have to come back down here. And that would be the breakout of the ascending triangle, even with the market cap. So we'll see. And when you get W reversals like this and they touch liquidity, this is a bullish setup if it comes for liquidity as well. That makes it even more bullish. The other thing is we are crashing as well. It's not just the price action. It's not just the price action. The market cap, you see the volume in the market cap going down even. We had this push up in the market cap on this weekly, and we had 453 million in volume coming in for the market cap. Then we had 261, 164. Now the reversal starts, 125. That is as well a long leg doji. It tells you that the pattern's indecisive and it's based on the next move. Bearish, 102 million. Next candle goes bearish because we're still consolidating. This one's at 25 million. We still got 5 days, 4 hours. That money coming in is crashing on the sell volume, which means the sell volume is not as high as the buy volume. I think this is a big trap when it finally forms, but we don't know where it's going to come. And that's the XRP chart. I apologize. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But that's the volume coming in. With the money coming in, it's similar. 665 million right here. But then you come here and we had 3.482 billion, right? Then you come here, 1.96 billion, 1.285 billion, 1.1068 billion, 860 million. So what do you make of that? It's coming down now. 3.48 billion on the biggest candle. The biggest shoot up here though was 665 million. Now we're consolidating. You want to see this candle continue to break down if we're going to have a parabolic spike, but that doesn't mean we're not going to come back to the ascending triangle breakout point. It just means this is our first chance to not do it. This was our best chance to not have to come down for a full consolidation. Buy the dips indeed. Christopher, Tanya, thank you so much for sticking around as well. Jay, if it does, I'll load up absolutely, and you should. Absolutely. Nikosi, hey Tom, you rock, buddy. All the love from South Africa. You reckon XRP can still crash below 585? It can. Our first indication, and let me like this because I'm going to be ending this shortly. I've already done an hour and 14 minutes. I came on a little earlier than normal. It's amazing that there's 166 people here still. Not saying that I'm done just yet. I'm going to relax with everybody and smoke cannabis. It's legal where I live in Michigan. So if it's legal where you're at, you can partake. And like I always say, if you got them, light them. But I'll show you what the likelihood is and how we'll know if we can come lower, my friend. Christopher, no problem. To my brethren from the north, eh? I appreciate you. You're just north of me. I'm in the great state of Michigan, as you know already. So if we're going to come down farther, our first sign that this was bearish on the drop, and this is a good sign right now, is the fact that we came back up and didn't use this as rejection at 585. Now, using the 6133 as a rejection could make it interesting, because it could mean that we still need to come back down and try to double bottom. That's all that would mean. Until you break this and use it as resistance, you won't have to come down to 55. Actually, it's a little lower than that now. 546 in this area now as of August 15th. But if it comes down and rejects here, you would have to use this as resistance. Then you would set it up for another drop down to the double top. Not the double top, but the formation breakout. The double top right now, we just retested at 585, that breakout finally. Otherwise, we'd have another 6.4% down to this ascending triangle formation. But as I've stated before, our best chance of holding without finishing that correction, we would like to hold 585. This absolutely puts a bullish handle on the cup. Even 55 cents could do that. The reason why 55 cents can happen is because of the weekly. That's where your support is after the golden cross. So until we make a breakout in a parabolic sense, there is always the chance. There is always the chance that can play out. As of right now, first layer would be not to lose the double bottom at 585, or before the daily close, get over 613 and establish that as a support, and just say that it was a low. We can't say 597 is the double bottom. We fell too far through it. Some will say it's a wick, but I firmly believe that's invalidated. You can't just say it wicked below this. It actually broke that formation. We did come above it, so you could say that could still stand as a support, but it did crack it, so that opens up the door for a double bottom here. That's all I'm saying. Doesn't mean it's over, but that's all I'm saying. And for anybody who is watching, I'll read this to you. I'm going to do this in an update later. But XRP funds attract institutional investors as AUM grows 127% year to date. I'm just doing a terrible job with this thing. Cryptocurrency investment products focusing on the native token of the XRP ledger, XRA, have seen their asset under management rise 127% so far this year and reported their 16th consecutive week of inflows last week, with 500,000 being invested in them. According to CoinShares' latest digital asset fund flows weekly report, the figure represents 12% of these products. Assets under management. Investors have increased their bets on XRP after earlier this year. A recent ruling from Judge Annalisa Perez is the case. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) brought against XRP, differentiating between sales institutional investors and non-exchanges, noting the token itself isn't necessarily a security. The ruling saw a number of cryptocurrency exchanges, including Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini, relist the token, significantly boosting its liquidity. Earlier this week, however, the SEC revealed its intent to file an interlocutory appeal against Judge Annalisa Perez's recent ruling on Ripple's programmatic XRP sales. That's not necessarily true, because we don't even know if that's going to happen. They have to get word that they're even allowed to do it. So right now, they're just seeking to see if it's even possible. The SEC is particularly keen to clarify the court's interpretation of whether certain sales and offers of XRP by Ripple, especially over cryptocurrency trading platforms and in exchange for services, fall within the parameters defined by the Howey test, a standard for defining. According to CoinShares' report last week, digital asset investment products saw 29 million in inflows, ending a 3-week outflow streak. Bitcoin-focused investment products saw 27 million of inflows, while Ethereum-focused products saw 2.5 million of inflows. So, in conclusion, last thing I want to show is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, believe it or not, I know everybody still says it broke the bull flag. It's still within that broadening wedge formation. Yes, it might have formed a little bit of a falling wedge here, but as it is, to me, this is still resistance, support. It's using the support area. If it breaks below it, it'll let us know we're going to 25,194 or 194. If it holds this, you have a move up here to 32,500. The technical target out of a broadening wedge breakout is 36,321 right now, depending on where we hit. could be higher because it's going to have to hit from farther over here. But right now, until this breaks down Bitcoin standard operating procedure, it's not good to keep getting rejected at 30,000, as that's a huge psychological level. But it seems to me the institutional investors might be working up something here. So we'll carry this on as we can. But everybody, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to hit that like button if you appreciate my work. Consider subscribing to my channel and joining me over 18,000 subscribers. If you want to send a YouTube super chat, that's completely up to you. All I ask you for is a like. If you want to join Tom's Army, I would love to see more people in Tom's Army as we get more and more into this. But as it is, I appreciate each and every one of you, because without you, I would not be here, and I can't thank you enough. Stay blessed, everybody. Positivity over negativity, and remember, don't worry about the ones who cause problems, because without the darkness, you'll never know the light. And without positivity or negativity, you don't understand positivity. Without somebody who doesn't believe, you don't understand faith, and yada, yada, yada. That's what you have to do. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay blessed.